Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Uh, today in this video, I'll be covering some important SOC interview questions. Recently I attended my SOC interview. And honestly, it was one of the best experience. Not just because it went perfectly, but because I learned so much. So today I'm going to walk you through every single question they ask me with simple beginner-friendly answers. So you can just read all these questions before your interview. Yeah. First question they ask me is, so before going to start my video, I make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel. So yeah, let's get started. First question was they asked me about my stock home lab project. So this question basically it will based on your project. So what type of project you have built, then that you need to explain. So here I have did one network segmentation project. So I have explained that. Next question they asked me about what is the difference between IDS and IPS. So yeah, IDS is intrusion detection system. So is likely a security camera. It watches everything, it records everything, and when something suspicious happens, so it sends you an alert. But it cannot stop the attack. It just watches. And IPS is an intrusion prevention system. So it's like a security guard. It watches and acts. The moment it sees something suspicious, so it blocks it right there in real time. And so IDS will detect and IPS will prevent. So next question they ask me is, if IPS can detect and prevent, then why do we need still IDS? So yes, here's the thing. IPS is a powerful, right? But it can make mistakes. It can block the legitimate traffic, thinking it's an attack. So that's called a false positive. So, and in a live network, blocking the real traffic can cause a serious problem, right? So that's why IPS is a safer because it will never block anything. It only monitors and the alert. It gives you the detailed logs so you can investigate the properly, right? So most organization use the IDS first to study the network pattern, then once they understand the normal behavior, then they add the IPS with the confidence. So together the IPS gives you the IDS gives you the visibility and IPS gives you the protection. Right. So next question they ask me about what you know about XSS attack and how you will prevent it. So first, let me explain you what is this XSS attack. Right. First, imagine a website has a comment box, right? So the hacker types a malicious script in that comment box instead of the normal comment. So if that website doesn't check what's being entered, so it's run that script, right? So and that script can steal your cookies. It may be your session, it may be your data. So now how do you prevent it? So think number one, you can prevent like never trust the user input. Always validate what the user is typing. Okay. Next, you can do encode the output before displaying on the screen. Again, next thing you can do is you can use the content security policy, which tells you the browser that script are allowed to run. So next thing you can use HTTP only cookies. So script cannot steal them, right? Next, next thing you can use the web application firewall that we commonly called as WAF to filter the malicious request. So simple rule: never trust what the user gives you. This is all about the XSS attack. Next, they ask me about what is SQL injection and how you will prevent it. So, SQL injection, imagine you go to a login page. You type your username and password. So, normally websites checks your credential in the database and let you in. So, now what the hacker will do here is he'll type this inside the username. So, the database reads this command, and because 1 equal to 1 is always true, right? So for that reason it lets the hacker in without a real password, right? So they just bypasses your entire login system. So the SQL injection is basically tricking the database into running the command it shouldn't. So how to prevent it? You can use a prepared statements which separates the code from the data, validate every input and use the VAF. Next, next you can do is this one is the oldest attack in the book, and it still works on the website that doesn't validate the input user input properly. So next question they ask me about what you know about the email analysis. So in the SOC you will analyze a lot of phishing emails, right? So this is very important thing. So SPF is Sender Policy Framework. So it checks whether the email came from the approval server. If someone is pretending to be a Google but sending from the random server, that SPF will catch us here. Next is DKIM, domain keys identified mail. So it checks whether the email was tampered with during the transit. Think of it like as a seal on an envelope. If the seal is broken, someone opened it, right? So this is DKIM. Next we have DMARC. So this domain based message authentication. So this is the policy that decides what happens if the SPS or DKIM fails. Should the email is rejected, quarantined, or allowed. So the domain owned decides. So the here the domain owner will decide. Next is URL analysis. So you take every link in the email and checks it using the tools like it may be virus total, and you can use the url scan.io to see if the malware is if that url is legitimate, or it may be it leads to the phishing page or the malware. So these four together tells you like is this email real or is it a fake. This is all about the email analysis process. Next they ask me about how the cloudflare will work. So think the Cloudflare as a bodyguard that stands between your website and the entire internet. So when someone tries to visit your website, so their request first go to the Cloudflare. So Cloudflare will check it a real user? Is this a DDoS attack? Is this a malicious traffic? If it's clean, then Cloudflare lets it through to your actual server. If it's malicious, then Cloudflare will block it right there. So on top of that, Cloudflare store a cached version of your website, so it loads up faster for the user around the world. That's a Cloudflare. Next, OSI. Yes, next question they asked me about what is the difference between OSI and TCP/IP model and which one is a theoretical model. So you can explain what is OSI model. OSI model is a 7 layer. It is a detailed guide how the all the devices should communicate. So it's perfect for the learning and perfect for troubleshooting. But nobody actually uses it directly to run the network, right? So TCP/IP model it has a 4 layer. It was created in the 1989 and it's what the internet actually runs. Every device you own you uses the TCP/IP every single day. And so the OSI is a theoretical model, and because it was designed as a concept, not for implemented directly. So TCP/IP model is a practical because it's the engine running the real internet, right? So in cybersecurity, you use the both OSI as well as TCP/IP model, right? So OSI to find which layer was attacked, and TCP/IP model to understand how the attacker moved. So coming to the next question, they ask me about what happens when you type the google.com. So here you need to explain some steps, like when you type the google.com, what are the steps will be happening in backend, right? So what is a steps? Step one, your browser checks it's a cache for the IP address, right? So if not, then step two, it asks to the DNS server to convert the google.com into the actual IP address. So step three, the browser send the HTTPS request, and step four, the request travel through the router and the ISPs, and step 5 reaches the Google server. Step 6, the server send back the website. Step 7, the browser display is it on the screen. All of that in less than 1 minute. So every single time when you type the google.com. So next question they ask me about how IP address is assigned. So they just give me one scenario like if you are sitting in one cafe, then how the IP address is assigned to your laptop. So there you need to explain what are the things will be happening and how the IP is assigned to your system. So uh, for this question you can answer like the moment you connect to the cafe Wi-Fi. So the cafe router runs something called a DHCP server, and DHCP automatically assigns you a temporary private IP addresses. So you don't have to do anything. It just happens. So the router also gives you its own IP as a gateway. Meaning like all your internet traffic goes through the cafe's router first. And here's the important part is when you visit a website from that cafe, the website doesn't see your IP address, right? Because it sees the cafe's public IP address. So that's why the public Wi-Fi can be the dangerous because everyone on that network is sharing the same public IP and the same router, right? Next they ask me about what are the Windows event IDs, like important Windows event IDs. So you can say that in SOC, if you're working in the SOC, the event IDs are your best friends, right? So they tell you exactly what happens on the Windows machine. So for that, 4624 is for successful login, 4625 for failed login, and 4634 for user logged off, 4648 for login using explicit credential. So these are some important event IDs. So you can read from here. And next question they ask me about what you know about the dark web. So the dark web is a part of the internet, right? So that is not indexed by the Google. So you cannot access it with a normal browser. So you need to use a special browser called Tor, that is the onion router. So it's not illegal by itself, but it's heavily used by the hackers to sell stolen data, to leak the credentials or malware and illegal services. As a SOC analyst, you monitor the dark web to check if the company's data has been leaked or sold there. So there are tools specially which is built for this. So this is about the dark web. And the next question they asked me about what is this CIA triad? So CIA triad is confidential. CIA stand for confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So confidentiality, only the right people can see the data. Integrity, the data should not be tampered or it not be changed. And availability, data is accessible when it is needed. So foundation, these are the foundation of every cybersecurity decision. So in this question, I have covered 13 questions. So if this video helped you, save it because these questions will come up again. And when they do, you will be ready and drop in the comment which question was new for you. So scenario based question are coming in the next video, and those are ones that actually test how you think under the pressure, like you don't want to miss that one, right? So see you in the next video. Bye bye, thank you, thanks for watching.